feelings. We're in a new location. I am currently at work. I'm on my lunch break, so we're just going to sit and chat for a few minutes about things that are going on and where I've been and what we're up to and stuff like that. Just like a general update and some plans for the future. I don't know how well this video is going to turn out because we are currently in an office that has been recently renovated. It's on this side that they were doing renovations still. And it's set up on one side like an office, and on the other side it's set up almost like a therapy session area. I'm wondering if this is going to be like a therapy room. I have no idea. I don't care. It's good enough for me for right now. Hopefully the sound is not terrible on this video. But anyways, hi, hello. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes, and welcome to the chaos that's my life. If you are new here, I have kind of sort of not exactly been gone for the past month. I've been like posting videos still, late, and there's multiple reasons for that. So let's get to the reason I left completely. I haven't been doing live streams, haven't been doing anything. At the tail end of September, beginning of October, I don't remember exactly when, it hit me all of a sudden, at probably either right before I went live for one of my last live streams or like right as it was ending. I really cannot remember which. But it hit me that this time last year, we got the white stuff. We don't say its name around here. That white stuff that falls from the sky and lands on the ground. Yeah, we got that stuff a week before Halloween. We were not prepared for it at all this year. Honestly, I've now lived here for 3.5, almost 4 years now. April will be 4 years. And still, to this day, not ready for it. Never ready for it. It's very obvious to people who grew up and lived here all their lives that we are not from here. My husband was born and raised in North Carolina, and I spent 90% of my life in North Carolina. I'm used to North Carolina weather where if you get an inch of snow, everything's closed down. So moving up here where everything stays open unless it's like negative 30 something degrees and like 12, 15 feet of snow, very different vibe, very different. But we also don't live in town. We live outside of town. We live above the river, off a dirt road, where there used to be 2 entrances, but when the gravel company took over one of the plots of land, they closed off the one road, which honestly was the flat road. That would have been easier to get to and from houses from. So now we have I won't say dangerous, but let's just say the river is slowly eating away at the sides of that road, and every few years or so they have to move the road because the river has taken over the side of it. Anyways, all that being said, that we live at the top of the hill on this dirt road, and I call it the Hill of Doom because we moved up here in a car, and our car didn't do so well with it, and even now we kind of sort of not exactly have a truck. Long story that I won't explain in this video, but even the truck does not like that hill. It struggles to get up it sometimes if it's not in 4-wheel drive. But all of this to say is that we are not prepped for the winter time. Winter is coming. It is coming fast, and we are not prepped any more this year than we usually are. But anyways, at the tail end of September, beginning of October, I realized that we had the white stuff coming, and we were not prepped for it. And I was like, I'm gonna cancel all of my live streams because I can't do everything. I can't help prep for winter and do live streams and concentrate all this stuff. I was like, if I get to writing related stuff, I get to writing related stuff. If I don't, I don't. And I honestly didn't do a lot anyway, so it was all good. I tried to continue posting videos. However, there was a bunch of other problems that happened with that as well, which I'll get into. But as far as like prepping goes, the things we needed to do was we needed to get our water trailer up and running, and we needed to get our chickens ready for wintertime because the girls decided to do 4-H this year. Chickens for 4-H. They've been doing 4-H for a couple years, but they decided to do chickens for 4-H this year, and we weren't ready by any stretch of the imagination, honestly. We've now got them set up the best we can. If they survive the winter, they survive. If they don't, there's not much I can do about it. I've done everything that our neighbors down at the bottom of the hill said we should do in order to prep. However, because they're at the bottom in the valley and we're at the top, wind chill is going to be a fun factor. So we will see how we do, but this year's going to be a learning experience as far as the chickens go, and hopefully everything turns out okay. But the other thing was the water trailer. We have to haul water. We do not have city lines. We have to haul a big 500-gallon tank up and down that hill of doom to get water to our place. And unfortunately for us, the trailer has been out of commission all summer. We've been slowly buying parts for it as the different stores have had the different parts that we need, because there was like something going on with the shocks. I don't remember the actual part name behind the tire on both sides of the back tires. And then one of the tires themselves needs to be replaced, which we still haven't done. And we haven't replaced the pieces that to the trailer either, because with it getting colder, we're having problem even with WD-40 and a breaker bar getting the lug nuts off to get it all fixed up. It's been an interesting experience. We're still working on it. Hopefully we can get it done before, at least that portion of it done before we actually get the white stuff, because that would be really nice. But if we don't, I don't know what we're going to do, honestly. We'll figure it out when we get there. Oh, videos. I have been trying to post videos. I have been trying to keep a consistent video screening. However, multiple things happened at the same time. I work in the library, which is an add-on to the house that my grandparents put on the property 20 plus years ago. And they built the add-ons themselves, and they did the electricity themselves. And there's two things wrong with both those problems. There's two things wrong with both those things. The first is that they didn't insulate it as well as like a regular house would have been. They didn't add any kind of vents. They didn't do any of that stuff. It does have electricity to it. It has an AC window unit. It does not have a heater. So we have to use a portable heater. However, problem number two, because they did the wiring themselves, they just hooked everything up to the current wiring without actually making new circuits. So we plug up a space heater and we pop a breaker. It's been great fun. Last year, the first couple years we moved in, what happened was that I would just basically, we would close up the library and we wouldn't use the library all winter long, and it just stayed fucking cold in there. We just avoided being in there as much as possible. Last year, I did put a space heater in there and I just made it work. And honestly, I really don't want to do that this year because, again, I don't want to run into the risk of possibly popping the breaker. And right now, the library has been basically a dumping point for a bunch of things. So it is very filthy. It's filled with a bunch of empty boxes as I've been upgrading some of my equipment. It's filled with a bunch of just packages and stuff where we've just used it as a tossing collective portion. And then we had to move a bunch of stuff around because we haven't actually found the leak. We have to tear down the ceiling in order to find it because we can't find it from up top on the roof. But there is somewhere a leak in the ceiling because earlier this year we had a very bad rainstorm and our bookshelves were getting soaked, and then we had to take down books off the shelves, and now there's bins in the library just filled with books from that too. So it has been a fun year. I only half joked earlier tonight when I looked at my husband and said, I don't know what God we pissed off. I don't know what family we pissed off, but if someone could undo whatever curse is on our family, it would be super nice. It really would. Whatever gods we need to please, we'll try to please them. And as far as like if someone intentionally cursed our family, fuck you, kind of thing. I was like, I don't know what I did to your family to piss you off, but please undo the curse what you did on us. Because we've just had nothing but, it feels like we've had nothing but a really, really, really long run of bad luck recently. To the point where like every little problem that crops up now brings me so much anxiety. Like I need to go and see a therapist, honestly. I really do. I know this. But I also know how much a therapist costs here, and it ain't fucking cheap. And that's after my insurance covers it. Cheers to that. But all of that to say that that's one reason why I haven't been doing videos, is because at the end of September, all of a sudden the temperature just plummeted. And we went from having like 90-degree weather, 80-degree weather, to suddenly overnight having 45-degree weather. And the library wasn't having enough time to warm up during the day after being in the 40s and 30s at night. It's still at that point, even though we're having slightly higher temperatures during the day and at night. It's like a false sense of bravado kind of thing. But all that to say that I haven't been filming videos in the library unless I've absolutely had to, because I'm not comfortable in there at all. And then I've been having some problems getting videos to upload and edit. I did figure out what the problem was there. Both my phone and my computer had updates. And while I was able to edit the videos, for some odd reason, they were saving when I went to download them from iMovie. They were saving it in a weird file format that I don't even remember what it was called. But YouTube was like halfway uploading them and then saying that the file size was too large. And when I started looking at the files, I was like, damn, these are like 3 times the size they're supposed to be. And I still to this day don't know why everything changed, but I fixed it. Editing Skye here to say that while this is true, I was having problems and I thought I fixed the problem, I continued to have problems, at least with filming videos, for a while. And I actually talked about it on a live stream recently that I did, where I finally did get a chance to actually research what was going on there. And basically, when the update happened on my phone, it reset all of my settings. And instead of setting it to like the recommended setting, it changed it all to one that was different, which would have been fine, except for the problem is the problem I was having with my video clips then when it did the reset on my phone was that I would get a message that popped up while I was filming saying that the maximum file capacity had been reached or something to that effect, and I would be sitting here thinking it was recording because the recording button was still lit up and it was still doing what it was supposed to be doing, except for what it was basically doing is that it would stop recording and then restart on its own and create a new video file. So a lot of my clips that I would film for like 30 minutes, because I talk a lot, would be cut up into these like 8 to 9 minute segments because it would reach the file capacity, and it took it a full 30 seconds to a minute to restart the filming process from the time it cut off to the time it started refilming. So there was large chunks of information, plus I had multiple different files for this one video clip. And it's just been extremely frustrating. But that's one thing I don't really get into detail because this was something I hadn't even discovered until after this talking point. So, just so you know, a lot of my film footage has been really strange lately, and I've had to piecemeal it together, and it's just been a major headache, really, honestly. It wasn't worth as much trouble as it has been, basically. But now I'm behind. I was ahead in my filming schedule, and now I'm behind. I'm like making a video and uploading it. And then I've had a couple of videos where like I had videos planned and I was like, no, I don't want to make this right now. I just don't feel like there's too much going on. And now that we're getting into the winter months, my plan had been to like pre-film, edit, and upload a bunch of videos, especially with having taken the month off from live streaming and using that time to film, edit, and upload. Didn't happen because we were out doing other things, whether it was errands and getting stuff ready for winterizing and stuff like that, or just other things entirely where we were out doing things. Like tonight we went to a haunted house. I'm not a huge fan of haunted houses, but kids love it, so we're going. And so I'm behind on videos, and I wanted to make a consistent schedule, and I was doing really good there until this month. For the past couple months, I've been doing really good, and then this month happened. I'm going to try to get back on a regular filming and uploading schedule. What that's going to look like, I don't know right now. My upload day is definitely going to be closer to Sunday, because what I was doing was I was filming, editing, and uploading. Filming and editing Monday, and then uploading on Tuesday, so that the video would go live on Wednesday after I double check to make sure everything's working. And instead, I think I'm going to move my upload day to my scheduled release day to Sunday. And the reason for that is because of the fact that I want to be able to, if I don't finish filming and editing on Monday or Tuesday, I've got more time throughout the week to finish that and get everything done. Especially since like a lot of my videos lately have been very image heavy, where I've really like added images in here for whatever the images were. And that's part of what's taking so long to edit and upload the videos, because it does make the file size bigger and stuff like that. And then just with the cold in the library, I don't want to be in the library too long. So, could I move my filming space elsewhere? Probably, but at the same time, I've got dogs that are always like all over me. My house is a fucking mess. My house is always a fucking mess. Always. like, I don't really want to film anywhere else. The library is where that's where I feel comfortable filming because I can close off myself and like get everything done that I want to do. So hopefully I will start uploading videos again very soon. I've hit the end of all the videos that I had originally scripted. I have all my videos planned for the rest of the year. I did switch out a couple of videos, but I do have all my videos that I want to upload for the rest of this year planned. I need to finish scripting them, or at least getting the bullet points in that I want to talk about to make sure that I don't go like completely off topic, because like this one wasn't scripted. We're already 13 minutes in and I haven't even gotten to the writing section of it. So like I want to make sure that I've got at least some bullet points so I don't go off on lots of random tangents. But it's just more stuff that I need to get done. And I'm going to be doing live streams back in November now because of the fact that I want to make sure I get all this stuff done. Which brings me to November and writing. At the beginning of October, I never officially announced it, but I have been basically not exactly tentatively participating in the 100K Q4 challenge, which Kate Kavanaugh did, and I'll leave a link to her channel and that video below. But I only wrote a few days here and there at the beginning of October, right before everything started getting heavy with the winterizing, and I got to the end of the day and was like, I'm too tired to do anything. Fuck this shit. And then Sarah Cannon announced that she was going to do a rough draft challenge. And then a couple other people are doing various challenges. I've heard of, the Pathfinder Writing Collective, I think is one of them. The Word You Writer challenge, which happens multiple times a year. Oh, God, I've got hiccups. Is happening. It's like there's a bunch of different things that are happening. All of which are different writing challenges. And I am participating, and there's also the Fall Into Your Creativity. I don't remember who came up with that one. I am part of the Discord group for that, but I really don't know who actually came up with the idea for that one. I don't know if it was a group collective or if it was a single person. And I can't find a lot of information that explains that to me. Every time I have to go look up the information to even remember what the challenge is called, I have to scroll through a bunch of information because it's not pinned to the top of the Discord, which I would love. What am I doing? I am doing both the 100K Q4 challenge as well as the rough draft challenge. I have not actually picked which tier for the rough draft challenge I'm doing. I'll leave her video where she talks about the different tiers and stuff in the description. But I think I'm basically doing the diamond challenge because the project I'm working on for the rough draft challenge is the third book in the Damned and Dangerous Quartet. And the reason for that is because I was reading back through some stuff and making notes in one of my notebooks, and I realized what I wanted to do for books 3 and 4, as far as like how I wanted to separate the plots, how I wanted everything to work out. And I finished today, actually. I finished outlining book 3. And I still kind of sort of want to do the outline for book 4 as well, but I think I'll hold off on that because it is already November. It's actually officially November 2nd when I'm recording this, but it's still the first for me because I haven't gone to bed yet and I work nights. But all this to say that I am working on the third book of the Damned and Dangerous Quartet for the Rough Draft Challenge, and then basically anything I work on from October to the end of the year, it will count towards the 100K challenge. Only because of the fact that I am definitely a project hopper, and at the beginning of October I was working on a bunch of different short stories. There's like 3 or 4 that I've got different word counts counting towards, and I've literally just named it short stories. They've been using an app called TrackBear, and I finally checked it out for the first time 2 days ago, yesterday pretty much, and I was playing around with it, and I actually really like that site. It doesn't quite do everything that I wish it would do. It's a little bit confusing, but it is still in beta, so it has room to grow, and I think I will be, if I can figure out how to, I will send an email with some suggestions on how it can be improved, because there were definitely some things that were irritating me, but it could have very well just been a me thing too. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Sorry about it being dark, but I just wanted to note like how productive I've been recently. My kid has archery on Wednesday nights, and I've decided that while I'm waiting for her in archery, I'm going to work on some stuff. And today I decided to work on like scripting videos for YouTube. So, I've got my plans for the rest of this year as far as like what videos I want to do, and I actually got them scheduled out until May, and that's because I've changed the rules to doing 2 videos a month. So like one of these is going to be a video, one of these is going to be like an update, a monthly update, like how I'm doing on my goals and stuff. So I worked on 2 of these videos while she's been gone for the past like half hour, and that is the Puck's Choice new release announcement, as well as 12 Recs from 12 Friends. Now, I haven't quite finished that one because obviously it's a vlog, so I'm going to have lots of vlog clips, but like the portions that I need to talk about to make sure I cover all the like the rules for the reading challenge, the books I'm reading, the honorable mentions that I took out of the challenge for whatever reason. Like I had to script all that stuff because I tried filming that vlog already and I kept forgetting information. So that's part of the reason why I like scripting my videos, and I don't do very detailed scripts. Like, let's look at a previous video one. Completed videos. We'll just look at the Puck's Choice one. Okay, because that's one of the most recent videos I did. So like I don't really script a lot. Like I talk about the hook, the topic I'm going to cover, if I have any experience with it. If it's part of a video series, I have been like putting like previously on, subscribe if, and I try to change that up a little bit. It's mostly the same, but it's a little different each time. And then I go into details about what I actually want to talk about. Like I talked about the Shifters and Mages series, and then I talked about the blurb, and I actually read the blurb straight from the book, and then I showed the new cover and the old cover. Like I don't have a lot of detail in this. And then I have like my outro area where I talk about a recap and what emoji I want and what question I want to ask and what video I plan on doing next. This was the video I had planned on doing next. However, I didn't get it completed in time. It was one of the 4 videos that I filmed that I had to scrap because the audio was fucked up. So I will leave that one. It's scripted, but I've actually already moved it to next year because it is Halloween themed, and I want it on a like right around Halloween. In fact, actually in the clip, I remember mentioning the fact that tomorrow is Halloween. It was supposed to post the Wednesday before Halloween because Halloween was on Thursday. So I'm very upset about that I didn't get that one posted, but things change. And then I have here hashtags, which honestly, I don't know why I have this here because my hashtags never change in my videos. And I don't know why I have this here because the links that I mentioned, I actually put down in my description because I tried to have this completed, and I have my chapters. As I'm editing, I kind of make note of what the chapters are going to be, and any links I want to include, like links mentioned, go here. So that's why I don't know why I have it here. Because this section is pretty much pointless, but it's left over from when I last changed this. And then eventually I will be adding transcription, but I think what I'll be doing for this is I'm going to take the audio of my videos, and I have Dragon Naturally Speaking. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my audio from my videos to Dragon Naturally Speaking, let it do the transcription, copy it to here, and then I will go in and edit it and change it so that it has punctuation, and then move that over to YouTube. Because right now, I don't have, unless it's auto-generated, I don't have any transcription for my videos. And I do have a Lisp, so I have caught, just playing around with it and putting the captions on my own videos, I have caught where it thinks I say one thing, and it is nowhere near what I'm actually saying. So that's fun. But it gives you a little hint on how I script my videos. It's honestly not a lot. There's more detail in this because I try to make sure that's good. And there's more detail, like especially like if it's something I have to read off, like this is the actual blurb. If it's something I literally need to read off, that's as much detail. Otherwise, it's just like past cover, new cover, recap, cover reveal. It's just like hints, so I can go into as much detail as I want as I talk about it. So yeah, fun stuff.
Quick random update, because I have to sit and breathe for a second because someone somewhere in this facility used bleach, and the older I get, the less I can handle bleach. I don't want to go as far as to say I'm allergic to it, but like I'm very sensitive to the smell, and like I was getting lightheaded for a second. So we're gonna just sit here and chat for a second while I, deal with that. But I was listening to a video from Beth. I don't remember her last name. I will link it in the description. But it brought up a bunch of like wounds that I'm dealing with right now in my writing life, in my writing career, because I'm struggling with a couple of things. And it's making me feel very down, very much like an imposter. And I think the title of the video was something similar to What if I'm not good enough to write this story, or something to that effect. And I'm not going to go into detail what she was talking about with her own personal journey, because it's completely different. It's just that her words brought to mind what I am dealing with myself, and it hit home. And I was just like, oh, bruh, oh God, this sucks. Because I'm very much in a moment of, I feel like an imposter of myself. Because I'm working on a couple of different stories, because I'm a project hopper. I do that. So I had Jenna's story, which is the sequel to Puck's Choice, which is the from the series Shifters and Mages. Puck's Choice being the first one that comes out in December, Jenna's story being the second one that has no release date, because I don't want to announce release dates until after I've got it completely ready to go, and it's nowhere near that. I got edits back from her, and I will have a video talking about this in more detail, but essentially what it comes down to is my editor found the character boring, the main character boring, and I was like, I have not read through any of her notes yet. Amy and I are going to get together and read through her notes together, just to kind of have a laugh, because I had thoughts, and I'll have a video about this. So I have thoughts about where I think she stopped versus like where the story picks up and where the attitude kind of flips and changes, and I'm curious if she stopped reading right at that point. But again, I'll have a whole video dedicated to that. My point is, so that's that series. And then in another series, the Damned and Dangerous Quartet, 2 of those books are published. I'm kind of simultaneously, not exactly, working on books 3 and 4 together. The first drafts of them, of the rewrite, because this whole series has gone through a couple of rewrites now, and then I've done multiple drafts of the rewrites. But I'm working on like draft 2, 3, 4, I don't even know which draft anymore, of book 3 of the rewrite, and there were some things that happened in book 4 that need to happen in book 3 and vice versa. So I'm changing up a bunch of stuff, and I'm making all these changes, but it's been 4 years since I published a book 2, so I felt like I was kept getting stuck. I was like, how are these characters acting? Like, what changes did they go through? What did we talk about with them in book 2? So I went back and read book 2, and guys, book 2 went through multiple rounds of editing from me. And then I had an editor go through it as well. Not my current editor. This was a different editor. These books weren't under contract with this particular editor, but this editor was someone that, looking back now, I probably should have never worked with, kind of thing. But they were what I could afford at the time. My point being is that my current draft of book 3 is so much stronger than my final product of book 2, and it hurts so much, because I was reading back through book 2 and I kept making notes of my own goddamn book as a reader, going, what the fuck was this author? Oh, this is my own writing. Oh fuck. And it hurt, and watching that video made all of this hit closer to home, because I'm sitting here reading this book, and this was like a 3rd or 4th final draft. And in my head, I'm like, this fucking sucks. This book sucks. This book would get like a 2-star from me if I was reading it, if it'd been by a different author. And it's my own goddamn book. And I remember being so proud of it when I published it. But now I can't fucking stand it. Because one of the things that's happened is that my writing has gotten stronger. I've gotten a little bit better with descriptions. I still suck at descriptions, and we'll have a whole video talking about that at some point too, because that's a problem I really need to work on and fix. But not only has my writing gotten stronger, like the way I plot has gotten stronger, the way I develop characters has gotten stronger. And so like I'm reading back through book 2 and I'm comparing it to the way I write in book 3, and it's not the same. And I'm running into this struggle now where I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? Do I write book 3 at my current level? Do I dumb it down to the level that book 2 was written? Do I go back and rewrite book 1 and 2? Because here's the other thing I noticed. As I was reading book 2, I was like, now I kind of want to go back and read book 1 and see how terrible that one is, because I'm scared to know and I want to know at the same time. And in that same breath, I'm like, I'm seeing, as I'm making notes in book 2, I'm like, I could add easily 20,000 more words to the story and strengthen it, and not fluff it at all. There are places where I'm like, I definitely felt
in this final draft of this story, I have a lot of White Room descriptions where, like, they're in this room, but you have no idea what this room looks like. And I noticed especially they spend a lot of time at this bar that the main character frequents with one of her friends and coworkers. Like, they go to this bar 2 or 3 times, and it makes a reappearance in book 3 a couple of times before they go on their adventures. And not once did I describe. I think I described the bar once in the very opening chapter of book 3. But as I was reading through book 2, I might have to come back through it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a description, but I don't remember seeing a description of this bar at all. And it was being used to host a holiday party, which means not only should there have been a description of the bar, there should have been a description of all the holiday decorations and themes and stuff going on inside said bar in book 2, because it's being used to host a holiday party. So, like, I'm sitting in the waiting area right now at work, and, like, I would have described the painting behind me. I would have described the fact that this wall is navy. I would have described the fact that I'm sitting in chairs and it looks like a field of lonely, I don't know what I would describe it as, but I would say something. I would talk about the fact that there's a plant in the corner that's fucking lonely looking. Seriously, that plant looks fucking lonely. But my point is, like, I would have described this particular room. I spend every night in here. There's something different about it every single fucking night. But I don't once that I can remember. I will, like I said, I'll have to read back through it. Maybe I did. I know I didn't describe anything Christmas-wise, even though the story takes place about a month before and a couple weeks after. Like, the story itself, book 2, takes place, it starts a couple weeks before Christmas, because it starts at the holiday party. So it starts a couple weeks before Christmas, and it ends on New Year's Day. Only takes place through, like, a month and a half. I don't once describe anything with any kind of holiday decorations. I know this for a fact. I know there is not one single holiday decoration description. Y'all, the book takes place in the Bible Belt, where, like, you can't throw a stone without seeing Christmas lights. You can't. There's Christmas lights every fucking where. Why the fuck did I not describe any kind of holiday decorations anywhere in this book? There is one scene where she decorates her Christmas tree. And I don't even describe the decorations she's putting on that. Like, there's no colors mentioned, there's no scheme mentioned, she talks about a Christmas angel that she puts on top of the tree, and that's because it's a family heirloom, and that's it. That's it. Like, I realize I need help with descriptions, and I realize I suffer from White Room syndrome, but goddamn, that was like the final draft. That had gone through editors, or a editor. That had gone through an editor. It had gone through several rounds of editing from me. It had gone to beta readers who told me that the original form in its dual POV, which this is a topic for another day, because reading back through it, I was like, When I wrote the series originally, and beta readers told me, no, this does not work with dual POV, I listened because they were right. But now that I'm rereading it, I'm like, I think they were right back then because I had the genre wrong. And now, especially like with the fact that book 3 kind of doesn't work without the second POV. Now I'm looking back at book 1 and 2 and I'm like, there's some scenes that don't make sense unless I have this dual POV. At least a few scenes with the secondary POV. Because I write third person limited, which means we are not all-knowing. We don't know what the fuck's going on in the background. But there's a character that kind of dives in and out of the storyline in all 4 books. And he just suddenly appears basically every once in a while. We don't know where he's gone. We don't know what he's been doing. And I feel like we need some scenes with his POV. But again, that's a topic for another day. That's a different video. We're not going to go into that. Basically, all of this to say is that I have been feeling so down lately. Because between my current editor, who I love, and she is right. Again, I'll go into more detail in that video. She's right about the character being boring. Character's meant to be. Not going to go into detail about that. Again, I'll save that for that video. But between her telling me that she stopped reading in the same spot 3 times because my character is boring, and then discovering that my current first draft rewrite, I don't know what to call it anymore, that my first draft writing
is on par with my final draft part writing from 4 years ago. A, really proud of myself. That means I've grown as a writer. But B, at the same time, it fucking sucks because this is a sequel series. This is a sequel book. And I don't want there to be that much of a difference in the style of writing, because that tells me that whoever does, poor souls, God bless them, makes it from book 2 to book 3, they're going to see the style of writing and they're going to go, what the fuck happened? Is this even the same author? Is this the same person? Because the writing has developed so much that my first drafts are much stronger than my final drafts 4 years ago. And that hurts so fucking much. And it's actually one of the reasons I haven't returned to some of my fantasy stories, because like I don't remember if I talked about this in a video clip that I never posted in a vlog, or if I have mentioned it in a video and I just don't remember. I don't know. I film so much these days and I don't use half of it that I don't know what I've told you guys about anymore or not. But the fantasy story that I wrote in high school, Ruby Dragon, that is now renamed to a name I'm not fully set on, that I haven't gone back to, that I will eventually go back to, that my husband often asks when I'm going back to. That story is one that at this current time I feel like I am not at the level of writing that I need to be at in order to do that story justice. And it's making me wonder the same thing about this other particular series, like the one that I'm on book 3 of. Am I a strong enough writer to write that story? Am I a strong enough writer to tell that story? And in my mind, yes, I am. But at the same time, when I read back through the final draft, the published version of book 2, and I compare that to the first draft of this rewrite of book 3, and I'm looking at it going, no, I don't think I was. And it's just been bringing me down. It has not been a good feeling. And add on to that of all the feelings of it's November, so there's a lot of things happening. We just had a major election, and say what you will about it, I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care how you feel like it should have gone. There is going to be a lot of, I was telling someone before the election, I was like, it doesn't matter which side wins. There's going to be a lot of hate from whichever side loses. Doesn't matter what happens. And I'm already seeing results of it from both sides. I am seeing lots of things go down that do not make me feel safe, that do not make me feel good about living in the country I do, or living in the state I do. It all around just sucks. So add in all of this, plus the fact that we're falling into winter and we could expect the white stuff on the ground any moment, all of these feelings added together just means that this is not going well. And I'm having lots of thoughts and feelings, and I had to get them all out, basically. I just want to put on record for the reason that Justin gets murdered. He brought these home from work and didn't tell me about them. I found them on the kitchen table when I got home from work the following day. I could have had this delectable piece of confection last night before I went to work. But no. I came home to find it on the table. Because he left it in his bag all night. Until he went to bed. Fucker. So I'm at the laundromat doing laundry. As always I do on Saturdays after I get off work. And there are books in the window. This is a big gap because of books I'm going to show you. But like, there's always books in the window. Like a free little library kind of thing. Sorry if my voice got really loud. I had to get close to my face. So I have this stack of books here. These are all Harlequins. And once upon a time, the way I describe my writing is monster Harlequins. Like, I wanted to write like sweet romances with monsters. That was what I wanted to write. And that's what I still describe my writing as most of the time. So I was like, there's a bunch of Harlequins here. Let me just read a couple of the first sentences. I made a discovery about all of these books, and now I want to like find a whole bunch of other Harlequins. The library's open from 1 to 4 today for the girls to have like D&D, and I'm going to check out some Harlequins there because I made an observation with these 5 books that I want to like check a whole bunch of other Harlequins and see if it's true. So
This is what I wanted to show you. This one is called Her Hometown Secret by Leanne Bristow. First sentence. Emily Beck leaned back in her chair and glanced at the clock on the wall. Okay, I want you to remember how this starts. So it starts with the character's name. I have always been told you don't ever want to start with the character's name. What does this one do? It starts with the character's name. That's book 1. Book 2. Nicole Helm's All I Want, a farmer's market story. Charlie Wainwright stood at the entrance to his brother's vegetable barn, phone in hand, many, many curse words in his head. First name, or name, character. Home to Her Cowboy by Sasha Summers. Eloise tucked a strand of wavy brown hair behind her ear and offered a blue and white stoneware bowl to her 5-year-old daughter, Kirby, and held her breath. First name. The Right Cowboy by Cheryl Harper. Oh look, here we go. Grant Armstrong grabbed the handle over the window and swallowed an embarrassing yelp as he watched the highway's narrow shoulder disappear beneath the tires of his brother's speeding pickup. Again, character's name. That's 4 books that all start with the character's name in the very first sentence. Tennessee Vet by Carolyn McSparran. The closest service station that has snacks and drinks is 8 miles away in that direction, Emma Logan said and pointed out the window down the 2-lane road to her left. Again, first sentence doesn't start with the name, but it is a dialogue piece, then the name starts. How come I've been told almost all my life that we cannot start with your first sentence should not have the character's name anywhere in it, and I've got 5 books right here where that is exactly what fucking happens. Tell me what. To continue on with our first sentence thing, this one, and that one all have the main character's name, whether it's the first and last or just the first in the very first sentence. Now, I don't remember which one it was. One of these has a prologue, and the prologue does not have the character's name in the first sentence, but the first chapter does. What the fuck's up with that? How come we've been fed this lie that you should not have your character's name in the very first sentence? And like, if no one else has heard that, where the fuck did I hear that? That I have believed that all my life and have tried my hardest not to have the character's name in the first sentence of the story. Where did I get it from if no one else has heard this rule? I really don't know. You're gonna hate me. I have energy drink. So there's this coffee shop called Cass's Perks. And they're only open in the morning. They close at like 2. So I almost never make it there. And they have this drink that's called a Lotus, which is this plant-based energy drink, I guess. I don't really know what the fuck it is. All I know is it's fucking tasty. It's good. And this one is dragon fruit and pomegranate. And it's fucking tasty. And I love it. So, yay. Oh my googly moogly, it is so froggy out. Look at all the fog that's everywhere. It's also very early in the morning. It's like 9 a.m. Don't ask me, I'm crazy. Ah! You'll be okay. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gracelyn. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
She's staring awfully hard at that 4.
Guys! I will blow them out for you. You missed one.